You know, it is crunch time for the Nigerian Federation ahead of the February 25 presidential poll, and no less so for the electoral umpire, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Now, sequel to alleged discriminatory issuance of permanent voter cards, PVCs, in locations across the country, INEC has announced the extension of the deadline for collection of PVCs to Sunday, 29th of January. INEC National Commissioner in charge of Information and Voter Education, Festus Okoye, reminded officials that alleged discrimination in some locations was against the law. The commission, we can tell you, is already probing allegations of extortion leveled against some INEC staff. We're waiting, Yinka. But not for Godot.
No, not for Godot this time. You know, in every human endeavor, there will always be complaints. But the complaint we are having here, they are varied. There are some, you go to the collection center, the queue is long, the officers that are issuing it are unorganized, and so on and so forth. Some few weeks ago, I gave my experience here, where I went to collect my own. It was hassle-free and all that. But after that, a friend called me and said, look, where you went to is only the odd one out. That so places and all that, there are problems. I said, yes, I'm not saying it is general. But the thing is also that Nigerians, as the Yoruba will say, we wait until the last minute. It is on the day you want to make a... Yoruba says that you don't cut your fingernails on the day you are making a journey, because you are likely to cut your finger because you'll be in a hurry. Nigerians like to wait for the last minute too much. INEC has been talking about this since. There are people today who have not made any attempt to go and collect. It is on that 29th that they will now go. Oh, yeah. Of course, there will be rush. So we also have to help INEC. And I believe that INEC too has recruited more hands to help in distributing. And they even now said they are taking it to the wards.
Yeah.
So where you registered, you can go there.
Why do you think INEC officials who are, I stand corrected, who are paid duly, can be compromised?
It is the Nigerian way.
It is Nigerian to behave that way?
No, you see, honestly, Nigerian people complain when they are the receiving end. The same Nigerian that is complaining that he is not, INEC official is demanding money from him, he works in the licensing office. You go to meet him, he wants to collect. He works in the passport office. He does the same. Now it is INEC. You complain about the police, you are a custom man, you do the same thing. You complain about the police, you are a man in the license. So until we are able to make ourselves realize that whatever I do affects the other man.
Rubs off, yeah.
Because the Professor Yakub Mahmoud will not leave his seat in Abuja and be the one to be distributing this thing. He will have to delegate it. The INEC commissioner in Lagos will not be the one to go to all the offices. He has people who are doing it.
Okay.
So if he is doing his job very well, the people under who are not doing it, I mean,
okay.
Nigerians, we have to change ourselves.
Wale, let me look at another angle. Don't you think we are missing something in this case in the area of orientation? I expect the National Orientation Agency to be in town, in the different languages and dialects, intimating the voter concerning the enormity of the event of 42 days from now. We're missing something.
It's a very complex sociology. It's not what Nigerian National Orientation Agency can just do as a program of event. Countries where there is culture of transparency, it begins right from their youth. When we are growing up in primary schools, there are some things they will teach you in your books about the folklores of tortoise, everything teaching you that
Honesty.
to be greedy is a crime. You even start singing some songs from primary school. You learn that what will I do with being a criminal?
Are those things gone?
They are gone.
Forever?
Well, probably. That it is better to be a slave than to be a
thief.
criminal.
Yeah.
So from your primary school, it becomes a part of you. So you had education with culture. And it begins, it started from your primary school days. The kind of books you read and all sort of things, all these tortoise and it taught you about greed is not good. Don't be greed and avarice. So it's something you need to address the subconsciousness of man. But when somebody is about 40 years and there's national orientation, it doesn't really sink into the subconsciousness. So we need to go back to the basics, to change our civic education must start from primary school about do's and don'ts. Not a situation where you have primary schools in this day that some pupils will even take their food to school and the teacher will collect out of it. They want to do inter-house sport. They ask the teacher to, even when they want to choose class principal janitor, they vote and the students give money to other people to vote for them. So when we are talking about
2022, in the 21st century Nigeria.
Oh yes, so if you are talking about tackling corruption, it is state of mind.
Yeah.
In a country where there is no, when you commit crime, there is a reward for it. If you go through one way, the first day, second day, just bribe, you will continue to do it because it's profitable.
Yeah.
So there's no reward for good behavior and there are no sanctions for bad behavior.
In our
country. So we need to actually go back to the basics. Those who designed our educational system in the 50s and 60s, they were conscious of the fact that education without culture will not bring out the best in us. So we need to go back to those basics if we don't want to address the problem of ethics in our society. And that's what affects our attitude to elections.
Inka, but you remember the old saying, society prepares the crime, the criminal commits it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Nigerian society, but we had not always been like this.
Yes.
So what happened? Where did we drop the ball?
It's part of what Wale has said that, look, right from the home and the bedrock of our education. Education begins from home.
Yeah.
Because even before for those who are going to kindergarten now, before you even go to kindergarten, there are some things your parents have told you that when you wake up in the morning, you fold your bed, you do your bed and all that, and so on and so forth. And it sinks into you. And your parent tell you, if you bring this biro home, and your parent says that,
and you can't defend.
Exactly. Where did you get this biro? And you start stammering, I got it. The next day, your parent will follow you to the school. But nowadays, we are so busy. Nobody checks.
So parenting has broken down?
It has broken down. Unfortunately, the modernity that should even make it better has further broken it down. You have children of how many years now, they all have phones, parents, and you all sit down at home, everybody's busy checking his phone and all that. But then, the issue that we are talking about, let's talk about we've spoken about this several times, the National Orientation Agency.
Yeah.
It is still existing only in name. If the government knows that it's not ready to fund it, they should disband it and find something else for it. If it is the Ministry of Information that is going to be doing this job, then it should be done. Because by now, has there been any jingle talking about this? The new Naira note, has there been any jingle?
Voter education is missing
The
altogether.
other time we were talking about foreign interference in our politics and all that. But when you see some of the advert that you see that talks about voter registration and all that, who sponsors it? DFID. It's a foreign body. So, what is our own government? What is the Ministry of Information and what the culture or whatever the nomenclature it is called now. What are they doing? The National Orientation Agency has a director general. If the director general is the problem,
Yinka, he still receives the salary.
oh
as a citizen
yes, and he has official car, he has official residence and all that.
for work not done or
Maybe
done.
just go to the office and sit down and watch European League and all that, and then at the end of the day, it goes home. So,
Oh, boy.
you see, the thing is that the government has not been able to define what this agency will do. We have so many agencies that are doing nothing. If
right.
Oronsai has said it, that you should collapse some of these things.
Rationalize it, yeah.
So why are we still having them?
And the President Muhammadu Buhari had talked about it. It was going to look at the Oronsai report.
That is what Olarotimi called olden talks. You just talk, and nothing happens.
All right. We'll go on a commercial break. We'll come back and talk some more. Don't forget, 42 days to go to the presidential election. Are you listening to me? Okay, folks, welcome back. Wale, let's go back to the story. The second leg of the INEC story is that it is already investigating members of its staff that are known to have been compromised.
I think we must admit that INEC is trying its best, in a very difficult environment, and they need to be encouraged. So if they can take this step and pursue it to its logical end, I think it will serve as a deterrent to other INEC officials that are potentially, are vulnerable to corruption. So I think it's a very good, and we hope that at the end of the day, we are going to see some people taken to court and probably jailed. Because dealing with 93 million voters is no joke. This is the highest we have ever had in the history of this country. Almost half of the whole entire population of the country. So it's going to be a very complex job for INEC. It's sleepless nights. And we need people that are honest, that are transparent, knowing fully well that if there is a transparent election, it will lead to prosperity and growth of the country. But once there's rigging and manipulation, it is, it's an impetus to violence and instability.
Perhaps I might add vote buying, which does not appear to want to go.
Yeah, that's another very, it's a major threat to stability and prosperity of the country. There is little INEC can do without the collaboration of police and security operatives.
Yeah.
So I hope, but with what we are seeing, I know that once the government brings a new design, then the vote buyers also comes with a new mayor. What they do these days is that they just collect your names, then somebody will spy. If you vote for this party, then they mark your name, you go and collect the money. So nobody even sees you at the end of the day. But we can still deal with this problem if we have, if we are determined to ensure that people are. We just need to use some
the song
as a sample.
Na poor, I mean, they crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
You remember the song?
I remember.
So poverty does not mean you are crazy.
Yeah.
Law enforcement must be as organized as organized crime.
Yeah, in fact, much more organized than organized crime. But unfortunately, in this country, we allow the deviant to determine what happened.
Yeah.
Because we don't punish people, that is why things go the way they go. If we do punish people, I believe that there are people today in Nigeria who still cherish their name. My father used to tell me something. He would tell me that if you spoil your name, it is not your name alone that you are spoiling. It is the name of the entire clan. Because when they say Olayinka is not complete without Oyegbile. And Oyegbile is not only my father, he has uncle, I have uncles. It's a long chain of name. When we punish people...
Today, then go say you be old school.
No, but when we punish people, look, we should not shy away from punishing
because the laws are there.
Exactly. When people say that we have so many laws that can take care of every infraction. But the problem is that we don't punish. You want to punish this man now, somebody will come and meet you that
A phone call. Yeah.
Didn't he think of his own before he committed
Yeah.
that crime? I mean, we must. Why is it that the scale of justice is blindfolded?
Yeah.
It doesn't see anybody. We must close our eyes and make sure we punish people.
Yeah, the eyes of Justicia is closed, but the eyes of Nemesis is open.
It's open.
You know, Wale, is it that we don't have the political will to punish offenders?
we don't.
Or, but we are not like this. We were not like this.
We were never like this.
But sorry, there was a country in this country.
Yeah, we were never like this. We have allowed these things to grow very bad, deliberately. Because
Is it too late?
It's never late. It's never late. That's why you see a lot of countries came, experience what we are going through now. It took the vision of just one person, to come and shake that narrative for the better. The China we are talking about was a backbench of corruption, of nepotism, favoritism. But China, through the cultural revolution that started in 1948, they changed everything. Japan, the same thing.
China, a bullet to the head, back of the head.
So
in Japan, harakiri.
So the leadership needs to come up to show a sample, but not when the leaders themselves are corrupt. You see that most of the time when we arrest people, we arrest ordinary people that are collecting 20 naira. The barons, who are the ones sponsoring corruption in the electoral system, they are left to go. So you see people that have robbed, look at the state. Somebody who was declared to have robbed, to have come to power through, barrel of the gun, at gunpoint, contested for the election. He came back again to contest the election. Why should that be? To contest for the governorship election of the state.
He was not punished.
So he was not punished.
Yes, that is
so
the
when that infraction that you even came to power through fraud, they should have said, okay, you cannot contest for the next 15 years.
Yeah.
So, but we need to learn to punish people. And let me also add that INEC, this 93.5 million, I don't know what they are doing about physically challenged people. A lot of people that are blind, people that cannot walk, they cannot hear. So how do we ensure that they have access to their voting card?
This is where you are missing national orientation.
Yeah, and we're also talking on voting day. Something usually happens that is not good.
Yeah.
You see pregnant women, people with children strapped on their back, elderly men, on that queue. I think that if we really want to reflect our culture, our heritage, aged people should be allowed to vote first. You see them with a walking stick. After waiting for too long, they cannot hold on, they go back. Pregnant women, give them opportunity to vote. Then you also take, nursing mothers, they should be given access to, and then physically challenged. People living with disabilities. So these are the things I think INEC need to look at so that we can have a more inclusive electoral process.
Since 1999, when we returned to democracy, we have been talking about political crimes and all that, electoral fraud and that. You will hear that some people have been arrested. Can we pinpoint today that this man was arrested in this so year and was sentenced to jail and all that? No, it's because we don't punish. That's why things continue to go haywire.
All right. It's all about the choices we make.
Yeah.
Wale, we must go.
Yeah. Thank you.
Inka, we must pack it all in.
Thank you very much.
Not before thanking you for being a part of it. But if you miss this program in any way, you have the opportunity of watching us at 11 p.m. later today. And of course, on Sunday, we have an expanded edition for you from 1:30 for 2 hours. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Citizen Jones. Bye-bye now.